Greetings, Stars fans. This is the Two Brothers Mic'd Up show. If you didn't know, we sit down, play a game of NHL, discuss the recent Dallas Stars game. It was game 56 versus the Washington Capitals. The ones with Ovechkin. Yes, those Washington Capitals. We sit down, discuss what we just saw, and give it to you right here on the internet. As always, we start off each video with past predictions from the last video, so always stick around for those. Quinn, you liked a score of 4-3 for Dallas. Ding ding, we got a winner over here with the right prediction.
That's all I do is win.
Yeah. Washington, you had a score of 3-2. I had a score of 4-2 for Dallas. We both liked a score of 4 if Dallas was going to win. I almost got that prediction if it hadn't been for that gamble from Kari. Then I also liked a score of 4-1 for Washington. So, Kari gets the third straight start. How'd you feel about that?
Felt confident about it, you know. I said in the last video that I would like him to get this start. You know, really see if he's starting to come around, get that confidence back, and you can definitely see it in his play in the earlier periods and a little bit in the third period. You know, he had his slight setbacks in the third period, but overall he played a great game.
Yeah. Again, you know, if you go back a couple of videos, we were talking about how Kari gives those streaks. Now, this is what I'm worried about with Kari getting these minutes, is that Niemi gets out of his stride, and if Kari goes back to his old ways and he finds that cold streak, and Niemi can't get back to his form because he's been on the sideline for a couple of weeks, then I think this team will have some problems. But I do like Kari starting this game. I do like riding that hot goaltender. It's like Kari has played so well, and he's played against one of the top teams in the league a couple of days ago against Chicago. Had a good outing with Minnesota, because Minnesota always plays us really tight. And in this one, it just kind of showed you that, you know, this is the Kari that everyone expects to see. This is, maybe he's finally understanding after riding the pine for like 3 weeks that he needs to get his ass in gear and start really bringing his A-plus effort. And I think he did. You know, it was a decent game for like 50 minutes. That's another thing about the Stars, is that they just can't give you that full 60 minutes. You know, we just have not seen a game in a long time that the Stars just flat out dominated throughout the entire game. I'm not talking about, you know, just because they're up so much in the third period they take it off and they have to survive. That's not good hockey. That's not playoff hockey. So the Stars need to get that killer instinct going. Let's go down the scores. First period, saw no goals, but in the second period, we saw all 4 goals like we did in Chicago in the first period. We have Janmark, Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin twice, once on the power play. We watched the first period. Oh, then in the third period, I guess a couple of Capitals scored. In the first period, we saw that energy that we saw in the Chicago game get rolled back over. Like when the first period ended, how did you feel about the game?
I felt that Dallas was definitely taking away the momentum. You know, you could see the frustration in all the Capitals' eyes. You know, Ovechkin, you know, he's getting chippy out there, throwing slashes at Eves and all sorts of stuff, and they're frustrating him, so they're not playing their game that I feel that really sets them apart from Dallas. Dallas just takes over.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing that I'd love to hit on, is that Dallas has been always getting this type of Washington team coming, because as of right now, with that win last night, that is 9 in a row against Washington. Washington just cannot break through that elevator ceiling that Wonka goes through. They are not Wonka. Dallas is Wonka with their elevator, and we break through that ceiling. We break through it, and that's the great thing. It's like I actually felt really confident going into Chicago. The confidence might not have been there, even though I want this team to win every game. Don't get me wrong, but then there are all those games that you're just like, oh, I just don't know. Against Washington, I have confidence that they are going to win that game. It's been like that for the longest time, and I love it. But see, Ovechkin's like one of my favorite players because of his style, that physical nature, his shot. He has hands. He can dangle. He's got speed. Ovechkin's the complete player. And to see the Stars shut him down like the way they did up until the third period is reassuring that this team is going on track. Talk about watching throughout the game. Talk about the defense. Now, I know we've been down on the defense. We have. But are the Stars starting to maybe get used to Nemeth in the lineup? I mean, is Nemeth back to form? Like, talk about the defense in a whole, and maybe talk about Nemeth as what you're seeing now.
Well, a big part of having so many prospects in your prospect pool is that, you have to have them get ice time, which is what a lot of reports that I've been reading have been saying, that Nemeth is playing and Yoki Pak is down because, Nemeth needs ice time. You can't keep two of your top D prospects at scratches the whole time for the season. Practice is practice, but games are a whole different level. And then other sources are saying that the Dallas Stars might be having Nemeth play so much because they might be looking at shopping him around, letting teams see how he plays, let them see what he's capable of.
There were reports of that maybe happening to Lindell.
Yeah.
When he was up.
Like, the Stars may be putting these prospects up there just to start showing the league, hey, this is what we got. You want them, make us a good trade. Don't try to lowball us. The defense seemed to be getting confident throughout the game. It's one thing to be confident, but it's another thing to showcase it. And they showcase confidence.
Yeah, I completely agree. The confidence, the passing is what is really starting to stand out. And the poise a little bit. Like, Klingberg seems like he's starting to settle down a bit because for a while there it looked like he was hurried. Couldn't really make up his mind, but it seems like everything is starting to slow back down while the Stars are picking the pace up. And Lindy Ruff at the end of the game was saying the Stars are probably one of the best teams in the league if they're moving forward, if they're moving at full pace and everything is clicking. Like, granted, you could say that about every team, but I honestly think that with the Dallas Stars, if they're moving with speed and getting those passes, just not overthinking things, this team could go far in the playoffs. Making the playoffs is one thing, but there's a difference between making and staying. It's that confidence that you're going to get with full speed, and the Stars are having that right now, especially showcasing against the two best teams in the league. Dallas is back into that conversation. I'm anxious to see what kind of the power rankings are going to be next week on Monday after this past week that they had, because they had a good win against Minnesota, gutty win, and then just an all-out dominance and for 40 minutes against Chicago and Washington, chasing the two top goalies in the league that are Vezina trophy candidates. We haven't seen that a lot, and oh man, it just feels so good. So with the scores, we see Ales Hemsky is starting to find that next gear. You were saying that, if he keeps this up, you would not mind having him around, because I honestly do think he is I think he might, when he came here, he still thought of himself as a top 6 forward. And with another team, he very well could be a top 6 forward. But with this team, with the things that they're building, it seems like he is going to be that third line winger that we need to round out like a full-fledged attack. And it seems like he's starting to get that. Maybe it was a little stubbornness. Maybe, he just didn't want to accept it. But it feels like now, playing with Janmark and having Sharp on his other side might be that clicking factor. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen when Jason Spezza comes back and how the lines get shuffled from there. But do you feel like Hemsky maybe finding that next gear to really start rounding out this offense?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you look at all the point production he's had lately. He's been stationed around Janmark, and Janmark has been primarily on the third line, sometimes on the second line between him and Spezza. I think those two really are starting to click together because when they're out there, you see nothing but hustle, movement from them. Because
it's the speed that really stands out.
Like, Janmark, he doesn't look like he's moving fast, but, he's moving. He's a fast skater. And that's a good thing to see, that you're getting speed out of your rookies, but also your veteran presence on that line.
Yeah, and it was a real big heads-up play. Usually, whenever it comes with the Dallas Stars on like 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, 3-on-2s, they get a little pass happy. So when you see Hemsky breaking in, and then you see Janmark cutting to the left side, I just wanted him to shoot. Because it seems like out of the past games, like 9 times out of 10, that pass gets blocked. We've seen that happen to Jamie Benn a lot. Jamie Benn has been pass happy for a while. And once I saw Hemsky try to make that play, I was so relieved, and I guess everyone else was relieved too, to see Janmark score. And that's his 11th goal. I mean, it's been 56 games, so he's not really lighting the lamp as much as you'd like, of course, but he's still in the running to being one of the better rookies in the league, and it's nice to see that. And then you see the chemistry with Patrick Eaves and Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin. That is full. It is on full display on Jamie Benn's goal, because you see Tyler working in the corners, and then you see Nemeth pinching down, keeping the puck in the zone, and then you see the chemistry of what I'm talking about. You go back and you watch that goal. Eaves just throws a blind backhand pass that goes through the skates of the Caps defender, and boom, hits Jamie Benn. Jamie Benn whiffs on the first shot, but I think that's how Jamie Benn scores on that goal, because it faked out everybody plus Holtby. He goes down, and he's able to get that second shot off, and it just goes to show you that chemistry that is working with that top line. I mean, we saw that a little bit of last year, and it's good to see. And they touched on it in the broadcast, I think in Chicago, that earlier in the season they went back to that, and it just didn't really seem to work. And I think it was on that New York trip that they tried to go back to it to try to recapture it. It wasn't working. So Eaves finally gets put back on that line, and we see that he is creating all sorts of stuff for Jamie and Tyler that we haven't seen in a long time, and it's great to see that. And then you see Tyler Seguin picks up the puck, skates in, makes no doubt about it, and puts it on net. And with his classic, he loves to go 5-hole in a situation like that. You see him go that way a lot. Makes Holtby flinch, boom, puts it right between his legs. And then you see Tyler Seguin again in his spot where he usually scores on the power play, gets a nice rebound, and just chucks it up into the open net. Power play's working. We gave up a penalty, and then Washington scored in the third period from Ovechkin. But special teams looks like it's starting to pick back up. Is there anything that they're doing differently that you think, or do you think they're just playing with more confidence because they're getting the shots that they need?
Well, I mean, you notice now they're not doing the drop pass as much, so I think that's really what's carrying them, because you see whenever they do the drop pass, it's like 50-50. Is it going to work or is it not going to work? And when it doesn't work, you can tell that they're starting to lose the confidence that they can get it into the zone at least, because they feel like if they're going to throw it back, is they going to get it taken over? Now they skate it in, they dump and chase, or they just skate it straight in and just put it on net.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with Spezza being on the sideline. Because I think Spezza tries to run the top power play and likes getting that drop pass and coming in with speed, but we're seeing that like the dump and chase or just carrying it in, drawing defenders, and putting it over to the weak side for an opening. I think that it's just working so much better. And I think they're starting to realize, and hopefully once Spezza gets back into the lineup, they don't go back to that drop passes, because as we saw, it's gotten the Stars in trouble, and we've given up shorthanded goals because of it. Going into the third period, we have Ovechkin on the power play, Justin Williams, and Burakovsky. Now the Ovechkin goal, what do you even really say about that goal other than that's just Ovechkin?
I think you just say it's Ovechkin. I mean, you see he gets one pass, he whiffs on the shot. He doesn't get as much of it on there. Then Washington takes it back. They give it, and you just see a complete just shotgun blast off the stick. I mean, yeah, Kari was in good position to stop it, But I mean, I think whenever a puck like that is just moving, I think it's just going to go straight through you.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that Ovechkin gets it off so fast, and he gets it off with such speed that a lot of the times goaltender. And the thing about it is that Kari knows it's coming. Kari knows it's coming and still can't react the way that he needs to. But then again, once you're on the ice on the penalty kill with Washington, wouldn't you think that play it like a 4-on-3, make anybody else beat you? Like, just keep someone on Ovechkin, keep someone in his grill, on his stick. That way he can't hurt you. I would have liked to have seen how I just want to know how that strategy would work, if it could possibly work. Maybe
put somebody on the ice like Roussel and just
be in Ovechkin's kitchen, knocking dishes over and just saying, no, you can't cook today.
Well, I can't think of his name, but the player that stood in front of the goalie and was just waving his stick around.
Oh, that was the great Dallas Stars, Sean Avery.
Yeah, Sean Avery. Just Sean Avery on there.
Complete sarcasm on great Dallas Stars. That guy's an asshole. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen maybe go to that strategy once Ovechkin's out there. But granted, Ovechkin will stay out there for 2 minutes. He's got no problem with that. The only goal that I have a problem with was the Justin Williams goal. The Justin Williams goal seemed like it could have been stoppable. That's the only bad goal that I say. I mean, granted, the Ovechkin goal could have been stopped, but I'll chalk that one up to just him being Ovechkin. But the Justin Williams goal, Kari makes himself small, hugs the post, doesn't leave a lot in the up top, and then Justin Williams is just allowed to walk in. Granted, the defenseman has to be there to put pressure on Justin Williams, but he's just allowed to walk in and kind of just roof it up over glove side high on Kari, where most people will score on Kari. And it just felt like that was just a bad goal to give up, because then you started seeing the momentum shift away from Dallas in the third period again. But with Washington, it was kind of different. Like, they weren't just chucking pucks to the front of the net on Dallas. I mean, Dallas was only outshot in the third period this game by 2 shots. It was 12-10. So it wasn't a Chicago thing to where they were just chucking them, seeing if they could get something going. It was more of a calm, collected Washington trying to pick their spots, and they were able to get 3 by Kari. The third goal, Kari makes a gamble and gets bid on it. I mean, you can't just let the puck sit there, but I don't know. Did you like Kari trying to do that poke check?
I mean,
it's an audio podcast, so they can't see you shrug your shoulders.
I know, but I mean, just I don't know. I mean, I'm not a goaltender. I've never played the position. I don't really know what to do in that situation.
Yeah,
because if you go for it, you gamble. If you don't go for it, you gamble. I mean, it's catch-22.
Yeah. The only bad goal that I saw was the Justin Williams goal. Let's talk about Jamie Benn. Did you really notice an impact from Jamie in this game as opposed to maybe the Chicago game? I felt Jamie had more of an impact in the Washington game, not just because he scored, but because he was actually possessing the puck. He was actually out there hitting. He was actually using his skill. In the Chicago game, kind of really didn't really notice him all that much. I mean, it was mostly Sagan and Eves setting each other up. And in this game, it did feel like Jamie had more of a presence in this game.
Well, I think he's on the uphill right now. He's rising through his slump, and I think that's basically what's happening right now. He's battling like most stars do. They go through their slumps, but I think he's on the uprise right now.
Yeah, it was just nice. It was just nice to see, to actually notice Ben out there, and I'm not talking like just because he's Jamie Benn, you notice when he's on the ice. I'm talking like you actually noticed him, like your eyes were drawn to him, and it was good to finally see that after maybe a week or so, to where you didn't really have that feeling about Jamie. This game, you could really feel Jamie's presence in this game. But I also want to talk about something that we talked about a couple of videos ago, and it's the Klingberg aspect of our defense. That hit that Justin Williams put on Klingberg, and Klingberg's down. He's not really getting up as fast as he usually does. He was kind of wincing a little bit.
I don't think that was Justin Williams.
No, it was Wilson.
Yeah,
it was Wilson. Did I say Williams?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, it was Wilson. And then nothing happens out of it. That's a problem that I have. Yeah, Goligoski goes over there and has some words with him, but nobody really got in Wilson's face and said, "Hey, your night just got worse because you did that." Mike Heike has talked about it. We've talked about it. I want to see some bite with this dog. I don't want to see a lot of bark. I want to see some bite, some actual grit to this team, and that's really the biggest problem that I had in last night's game, was seeing Klingberg get hit like that, and Wilson got a penalty on it. You know what? Go over there and do something about it. Do something about it. Okay, you get a penalty, but you're still up in this game, and you know what? Going over there and sending a message to him does not take momentum away from you. It only helps bring it in and keep it on your side, because you know what? That Wilson hit on Klingberg kind of sent a message to Dallas. Hey, we're still in this game, and we're not going to stop. They just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming, and that was like right at the end of the second period when Dallas wasn't done scoring. I mean, Tyler Seguin got a goal on that 5-on-3, but Washington didn't stop. That's the thing about it, is that these teams aren't going to stop. They're just going to keep going after your best players, trying to take your head out of the game. So that's how do you feel about that situation? And when you saw that hit, did you feel like someone needed to go and stand up?
Well, yeah, I think anybody would. I think that's what a lot of people expect whenever something like that happens. But you know, you hit it right on the head. Like, I'm tired of mouths flapping. We don't need any more mouths flapping. We need knuckles to knuckles. We need some bare knuckle boxing going on.
Yeah. And whenever they say like fighting might be taken out of the game, it's stuff like this. It's because we're not standing up enough for our teammates. Now, a lot of people will probably say, well, it's just stupid. They're grown men and they can take care of themselves. Yes, but it is a team game, and you have to stick up for your teammates no matter what. And so let's see if Dallas can, get that message. I mean, looking over the stats, like Dallas, we outplayed them in just every way except for face-offs. We lose the face-offs, I think, for like the third straight game. But we had more shots, 35-23, more hits, 23-15, less giveaways, but still double-digit giveaways. We all know how I feel about that. More takeaways. We had 11-7 takeaways, so that was good. We had pressure on Washington. Face-offs, 31-27 in favor of Washington. All around, good game. Good game. Let's go into the ratings. What rating did you give this game?
I'm going to give this rating the same rating I gave to the last game, a B. Mainly because I was deciding between a B- and a B. Mainly because you see, we get the lead, but then there's still that third period breakdown. And, instead of 2 goals this time, it was 3. Which, whenever they pull their goal, it could have easily turned into 4. Yeah, and then we see a different game. Yeah. Sure, we might still get a point out of it, but, coming down the stretch, you need all the points you can get, especially at top-tier teams. Just the goaltending, I think, needs to be shifted back to Niemi next game.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not too sure on what to think about goaltending. I give a rating of A-, only because we were able to get up and survive that rally that they had. I thought Kari was fantastic. Our top players came to play against the top players in the league. That Washington is the best team in the league because they are first in just about every category. And Dallas came in and they just stomped a mud hole in them in the first and second period. But you know what? That is the best team in the league, and so they're going to have pushback. And for Dallas to get what they needed deserves an A. A low A, just because, like you said, that turnout in the third period is a little worrisome. Because the Dallas Stars used to be the best third period in the league. So now they're shifting to like this for best second period team in the league. So it's nice to see Dallas getting these wins. The Stars in game 57 play against Nashville. What kind of predictions do you have for that one?
Well, Nashville is a very defensive team, so I feel it'll be a pretty low-scoring game. I'll say Dallas 3-2 or Nashville 3-2.
I think Nashville's coming off of a win. I think they kicked the crap out of someone. They had like a 5-0 win over the weekend, so they're going to have some kind of confidence. But the Nashville is still on the downturn. So I'm going to say if Dallas wins, I like a score of 5-2. And if Nashville wins, I like a score of 2-1. I think it'll be a low-scoring game if Nashville comes on top. So, that's the discussion. Be sure to subscribe, like the video down below, leave any kind of feedback down below. Remember, this is a show for fans, by fans. Help us grow this into something that you would want to watch and tell your friends about. And, as always, tune in next time.